A senator pushing for change when it comes to vaping in the natural state. The School Safety Act would ban vaping and the use of e-cigarettes in places where tobacco smoking is not allowed. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. For Fox 16 News, I'm Kevin Kelly.
I'm Donna Terrell. The bill would also impose a tax on e-cigarettes to provide funds to schools for safety and mental health counseling. Fox
16's Rochelle Turner joins us live from the state capitol after speaking with Senator Jim Hendren and people who vape. Rochelle.
Well, Kevin, Donna, good evening to you. Vaping has been the hot topic of discussion lately, and today I spoke to Senator Hendren on the phone, and he told me parents and school administrators are trying to get the addictive product under control. Now, I also spoke to one parent who says if this bill were to pass, it could help and change several things in many ways. Lauren McCrae started vaping to quit smoking.
Just a little bit in the mornings, like with my cup of coffee, a little bit on my lunch break, and usually maybe some after dinner and then a little bit before bed.
She says it helps her unwind.
Because I don't drink, I don't do anything like that.
McCrae learned of a new bill proposed by Senator Jim Hendren on Monday that prohibits vaping and the use of e-cigarettes in places where tobacco smoking is not allowed.
Pretty much everywhere I've seen, they're already restricted. Schools, hospitals.
Senator Jim Hendren says the product could be harmful to children's health, and the health department reports that vaping among teens is at epidemic levels.
Every day there's new stories coming out about severe health consequences and even deaths associated with vaping.
The bill would also ban billboards that advertise e-cigarettes within 1,000 feet of a school or playground, and it would prohibit companies from handing out free samples to minors. But McCrae says the way it's publicized won't change much to people who want to smoke it.
I mean, there's enough advertisement of vaping on social media, on TVs and everything.
Senator Hendren says the bill would also tax e-cigarettes in the same manner as tobacco products.
What it does with the dollars that are generated from this vaping, closing this vaping tax loophole, which is probably between $6 and $8 million, is it establishes a fund that will go to school districts for safety and security.
I believe that would be good if the tax money did go towards all that.
Now, if this bill were to pass, the director of the Tobacco Control for Arkansas could revoke or suspend the license for any retailer or manufacturer who does not comply with the rules. It's also considered a Class A misdemeanor. For now, reporting live in Little Rock, I'm Rochelle Turner, Fox 16 News. Back to you.
Rochelle, as you know, vaping certainly has a bullseye on it, especially nationally and even here in Arkansas with the number of deaths, injuries, etc. But how are the owners of these vaping stores responding to this latest proposal, if you will?
Well, Kevin, I did speak to several owners today in here in Little Rock and North Little Rock. They told me they heard about the bill this morning when it was pretty much released, but one owner told us today that if this were to pass, it would affect vaping stores and could potentially close them in the near future. Back to you.
All right, Rochelle, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And federal officials continue to revise the number of cases connected to vaping-related illnesses. According to the CDC, there are 380 confirmed and probable cases of severe lung illnesses linked to e-cigs. This is across 36 states and the U.S. and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Officials say 6 people have lost their lives to this illness.
Now, weather to plan your day with Fox 16 Chief Meteorologist Jeff Baskin.
Well, certainly another very summer-like day. High temperatures up into the mid to upper 90s. Lots of sunshine. Still pretty warm out there this evening. Look at these highs today. 95 in Little Rock, 99 in Arkadelphia. Camden, you hit 100. Check this out. 102 in West Memphis. Memphis actually hit 100 degrees the first time in almost 3 years, and it happened in the middle of September. But you see lots of temperatures in the mid to upper 90s across the state for high temperatures, and still in the upper 70s to lower 80s. 81 in Little Rock, 84 right now, and Stuttgart still 83 in Hot Springs. Now, as we take a look at the satellite and radar, not a lot to show you. We had a couple of very, very stray pop-up showers that tried developing with daytime heating. They didn't do very much. We stay dry tonight into tomorrow, but notice down to our southwest, we actually do have a system that's just off the Texas coast. likely not going to be something that develops into a system tropically because it's already getting too close to land. However, this slow-moving system could bring some very heavy rains to parts of southeast Texas over the next couple of days, and eventually that's going to mean some higher rain chances for us, although not necessarily heavy rains, but a few showers around, and we could actually use a little bit of rainfall because it really has been dry. Staying dry for tomorrow with the rain tomorrow well to our south and west across parts of Texas and Louisiana. So for tomorrow, temperature starting off with the low 70s, but another blazing hot, almost midsummer-like day with those high temperatures back up again into the mid-90s. I'll show you how those higher rain chances are going to affect temperatures coming up in your 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
A breaking news update. Charges upgraded for a suspect in North Little Rock after police report the shooting victim passed away from his injuries. It happened on September 12th in the 800 block of North Beach. Authorities say 38-year-old Alex Bluford was taken to the hospital after being found with multiple gunshot wounds. He passed away over the weekend. Authorities confirm 70-year-old Lewis Thomas turned himself into officials shortly after the shooting. His first-degree battery charge has been upgraded to first-degree murder. This marks the city's 12th homicide of the year.
In Little Rock, a 3-year-old is recovering from a gunshot wound after police say the child accidentally shot itself in the arm. According to the report, police were called to Children's Hospital to investigate. They were informed this man, 26-year-old Stalin Lanagan, was babysitting the child at the time of the shooting and had a gun stashed in a drawer at the home. Lanagan was taken into custody, charged with 1 count of endangering the welfare of a minor.
An elderly woman missing in Conway has been found, and now her daughter is facing charges. Police say Lisa Bozarth took her 79-year-old mother, Linda Jaggers, from a nursing home without authorization. They found the two at an Airbnb in Bella Vista. The woman tried to fight them when they tried to arrest her, according to responding authorities. Bozarth is now facing charges for attacking the officers. Jaggers is being treated in Northwest Arkansas, but will be brought back to Conway.
New at 9, priceless memorials moved from an infant cemetery leaves families demanding some answers tonight. Fox 16's Susan L. Corey is back from Conway. And Susan, all these items were actually moved by people who are supposed to be taking care of the graves.
That's right, Donna. Everything was moved by landscapers, and what we're talking about here are small things like toys, pacifiers, even flowers, all left at grave markers in just one part of the cemetery that's for infants.
To lose a child is just something I can't even put into words.
Tucked in the back of Cresslawn Cemetery, Jamie Chandler visits her infant daughter.
We're getting robbed.
But memorials missing from her gravesite make this final resting place anything but peaceful.
For those things to just be gone without warning at all whatsoever literally feels like it has taken my child.
Underneath this plastic is where landscapers piled up flowers and toys that used to lie by graves.
Those are the only things that we have for our children.
The cemetery calls it needed to make room for lawnmowers, but parents are questioning why this wasn't an issue all summer.
Why are we just now raking it off and acting as if it's trash?
As soon as you pull in, multiple signs spell out the rules. And from the cemetery's perspective, it's all about safety. That's why they only allow approved flower holders.
The cemetery put a reminder on Facebook back in April, explaining its policy on the phone.
While we understand and appreciate the significance of being able to leave items that may be very personal on a loved one's final resting place, those items are oftentimes become dangerous when they, for example, strike a lawnmower blade.
Parents are looking at what's left on graves through the cemetery, questioning why there are exceptions.
So there's really no rhyme or reason to it, and there's no respect.
Asking for peace in a place they never wanted to be.
They obviously understand what they're dealing with. They know how small the casket was when they put it in the ground.
Earlier, McNuck Funeral Homes runs the cemetery, and they tell me management does plan to meet with parents tomorrow night to try and address some of these issues. But they do tell me they also don't have any plans to change the rules here.
You know, my heart goes out to Jamie because losing a child is not an easy thing. And certainly, you know, whatever she had on her baby's grave, she wanted it to stay there. I get that. If they have these rules at the cemetery, I follow where she's coming from. It seems like it applies to some people. It doesn't apply to others. It depends on where your grave marker is, or sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not okay. Are they going to do something to fix that so that people don't go back to their child's grave and it's like, oh my goodness, what just happened?
Yeah, well, the cemetery tells me they actually have every family sign a contract when they put them in there, and it does state that you can only have mementos out there outside of mowing season, which is during the winter, obviously. Okay. Now, one thing Jamie did tell me today is that she'd be willing to actually go and inform parents that, hey, they're going to go out, they're going to mow, you need to get these items picked up.
A heads up. That's what she wants. She wants a heads up.
Exactly, yeah.
I get that. I understand that.
All right.
Okay, hopefully they can fix that.
Thanks.
Thank you.
The Faulkner County Detention Center is pouring cash into safety upgrades. Officials are spending $300,000 to upgrade locks in the maximum security facility, add new security cameras, as well as replace boilers. The money was awarded by the Quorum Corps, but more could be coming to address another issue, overcrowding. The sheriff has proposed a 50-bed temporary housing facility that requires a $1 million deposit.
We're in the 16th day of September. We're already at 271 that we've booked, and we're looking at, between releases and bookings of last month, almost 500, and we have a little over 400 beds.
If the Quorum Court approves, the money could be allotted before the end of the year.
A crime alert tonight. A Little Rock woman desperate for help tonight to find an invaluable racing bike. We want you to look at this and see how proud she is holding it. Someone stole the pink and black custom cycle from a storage unit outside her Hillcrest home over the weekend. The owner tells us it holds a lot of sentimental value, and it helped her push through a really difficult time. She's offering a cash reward for anyone who can bring that bike back.
September is National Baby Safety Month, so starting today, Walmart is using the opportunity to collect old car seats. Listen carefully. Customers can trade in their car seat that their child has outgrown and receive a $30 Walmart gift card. The company is partnering with TerraCycle to help keep car seats out of landfills. Most locations in Central Arkansas are participating, but there is a 2-car seat trade-in limit per household, so keep that in mind. The event runs through the end of the month.
A deadly explosion in Maine today claims the life of a fire captain.